Here's where most people go wrong. The diet industry often promotes vegetables as free foods, without teaching people how to make them actually satisfying. This leads to people eating tiny salads, staying hungry, and eventually abandoning their diets for more satisfying options. Raw vegetables can fill your stomach with almost no calories, but most people eat them in quantities too small to trigger real satiety. A massive salad with low-calorie dressing can be more filling than a small meal with 10 times the calories. Restaurants and food companies don't want you to know this because satisfied customers on vegetables don't order appetizers, desserts, or return as frequently. So they're literally profiting from your hunger. Eat vegetables in massive quantities. Low-calorie seasonings and dressings. Make salads so big they can barely fit on the plate, and use vegetables to physically fill your stomach before you eat higher calorie foods. So set clear quantity goals. For vegetables, rather than vague intentions to eat more vegetables, aim for specific volumes. That will create satiety. Vegetables are like bubble wrap for your hungry. They will take up all the space and protect you from overeating the expensive stuff. But what about when you want something more substantial than vegetables? The protein industry pushes expensive cuts of meat and exotic proteins, often overlooks some of the most cost-effective lean options. People think healthy protein has to be expensive or even difficult to prepare, but white fish like cod, tilapia and halibut are nearly pure protein with minimal calories. Eat massive portions and stay in a deficit. But the meat industry makes more profit from higher fat cuts, so lean fish gets less promotion. This keeps people choosing higher calorie proteins that don't provide the same satiety per calorie, and that makes the deficits harder to maintain, and that leads to diet failure. White fish gives you maximum protein, minimum calories. It will support your goals. Frozen fish will reduce friction. Remove those barriers, choosing low proteins. Now let's talk about satisfying those comfort food cravings. The convenience food industry wants you buying their expensive portion control soup instead of making your own, and they'll profit from small tins that don't satisfy you. Broth-based soups with vegetables and lean proteins will fill your entire stomach, 200-300 calories. The liquid volume triggers satiety signals that solid foods of the same calories don't provide, but food companies make less profit from ingredients rather than processing it in themselves. And this keeps people buying expensive, unsatisfying, convenient foods instead of learning to create their own high volume meals based on what actually works for fat loss. And the best thing about it is that you can make massive batches of this. Loads of vegetables, loads of lean protein, the liquid volume, freeze it. It will satisfy you physically and the nutrients support your health goals. It's going to be impossible to overeat. It's important to never take cooking as a chore. It's a tool, and it's a tool for creating the results that you want. It should never be a burden. Soup is like a Trojan horse for satiety. It sneaks massive volume into your stomach disguised as a normal meal. And speaking of liquids, let's talk about the ultimate appetite suppressant. Caffeine is demonized. Expensive energy alternatives are promoted. They've made people afraid of one of the most effective natural appetite suppressants and metabolism boosters available. Coffee naturally suppresses appetite. It will increase energy expenditure and replace higher calorie beverages. But the supplement industry makes more money selling you energy products than recommending free coffee. The caffeine fear keeps people fighting hunger and low energy with willpower instead of using safe, effective tools. Black coffee or coffee with low calorie additions can suppress appetite for hours and boost your metabolism, and it's one of the most cost-effective fat loss tools available. Stack your coffee consumption with meal timing, use it strategically, and you'll be able to extend the time between meals. Coffee's like having a personal assistant for your appetite, handles the small stuff so you can focus on the bigger decisions. And that brings us to the final game changer. This approach pisses off the entire diet industry because it works without their products. They don't want you to know that you can eat massive volumes of food and still lose weight. They'll profit from your restriction, your suffering, and your repeated failures. Think about it. If you can satisfy your hunger with popcorn, diet pop, protein ice cream, why would you buy their expensive meal replacement? Their appetite suppressants and the portion controlled snacks. The truth is, fat loss does not require suffering. It requires strategy. Volume eating lets you feel full and stay full in a day. Eat more food doesn't sell as many products as suffer for the results. You convince yourself that willpower is the answer, when smart food choices are the real solution. So here is what actually works. Pick 3 foods from this list that you actually like. Don't try to implement everything at once. Maybe start with popcorn or diet drinks and 1 protein that appeals to you. Replace your usual snacks with these volume options for 1 week. Don't change anything else. Just make these swaps and notice how your hunger changes. And pay attention to your hunger and energy levels. Volume eating should make you feel more satisfied, not more restricted. So adjust the portions and choices based on what works for your lifestyle. And remember, fat loss doesn't require suffering when you have the right tools. You're not broken, you just need better tools and weapons against hunger. And if you want the complete system for volume eating, plus meal plans and recipes that make it automatic, check out that video just there that will let you set up your whole fat loss diet with no restriction, no fatigue, and it's sustainable.